The KFM News.
Justice is a matter of peace. Without justice, peace cannot be.
The KFM News.
Let's work together to omele chapamam kwai.
The KFM News. The KFM News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the KFM News today, the 7th of September 2024. To present it, I'm Jack Mapembolo. We take a look at the top stories. President Hakainde Hichilema has left China for Zambia. Fred Membe says Zambians have the capacity to run mines. Zulao urges the government to reinstate and increase over 6 billion kwacha allocation for retirees and councils dates in the 2025 budget. In international news, former Vice President Dick Cheney to vote for Kamala Harris, and Polo Polo shift focus to Tuesday's game after a loss in Bouaké to Ivory Coast.
The KFM News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has left China for Zambia after concluding his 5-day engagements in that country. President Hichilema left China airport around 01 hours. The president was in China to attend the 9th Forum for China-Africa Cooperation Summit. He also attended the Zambia Power Development Forum that showcased Zambia's investment opportunities in the energy sector. The president also held bilateral engagements with senior officials in the Chinese government. Yesterday, President Hichilema concluded his mission with a press conference organized by the local media, during which he spoke about Zambia's economic diplomacy policy, his stance on the promotion of world peace as opposed to war, and vision for Zambia. Socialist Party President Fred Membe says Zambians have the capacity to run their own mines. Speaking in Lusaka yesterday, Dr. Membe said historically Zambians have demonstrated that they have capacity to own and manage their own mines under ZCCM. He said most foreign investors running Zambians mines are doing so on borrowed money. He said some of them even borrow money from local banks, which they use to buy mines at a song. Dr. Membe adds that at one point Zambia was at the same level with world's number 1 copper exporter, Chile, but Zambia put back and Chile moved forward. Zambia United Local Authorities Workers Union of Zambia President Emmanuel Mwise is urging the Ministry of Finance to consider reinstating and increasing over 6 billion kwacha allocated to pay retirees and other dates for councils in the 2025 national budget. About 6 billion kwacha was allocated towards dismantling retirees from local authorities, historical outstanding salaries arrears at various councils, and other payments, including personal emoluments, in the 2024 budget. However, the drought-induced realignment of the 2024, the national budget eliminated this provision, prompting Mr. Mwise to urge governments to ensure the money is restored in the 2025 budget to enable payments. He says it's clear that the local government equalization fund is not enough to deal with the legacy debts, despite having helped local authorities to bring their payments to current levels. The Zulao president says the realigned budget that necessitated the removal of the item to clear outstanding salaries and personal emoluments in local authorities has delayed the process but must be restored next year. Chairperson of the Chabukatu Traditional Ceremony Organizing Committee, Mr. Paul Mambiri was appealed to the business community in Mansa and well wishers to support the hosting of the ceremony this year. Mr. Karwa since called for the establishment of the committees in villages headed by village headmen to help support the ceremony. He has also called on residents of Luapula to help the ceremony by becoming subscribed members of the organizing subcommittees in their location. He says the membership fee for senior trustees is 250 kwacha, while ordinary members are to pay 180 kwacha. Karwas further called for solidarity from all subjects towards traditional leadership. We continue with the news. A resident of Chipata village has echoed dead woman Chipata's plea for plot owners to finish constructing the incomplete house structures in the village. Speaking to KFM News, Raston Mubanga says there is a need to complete structures to improve the general outlook of the area. Meanwhile, Mubanga has appealed to the government to help them drill a bore at the market in the area. Mr. Mubanga says area councillor Mr. Kapusa Mwaba must take it upon himself to ensure that the market area has a bore and that people drink clean water at the trading place.
Mushi buyantanji muchukukula ngevintu muchukulile mwaina pa market penye tulekwa abantu bikira pokabo ukira ti kangaba ko bankenja pa penye ala tulenwe amenji ya Afriko na yambo kubunda uka twapapata mkwai pakaungira wesu tusakamane ko pano bankele baba chipote.
Economist Manasseh Siwila has urged small and mid-sized enterprises, SMEs, to brace themselves for the effects of the 21 hours load shedding by partnering with other like-minded entities in a bid to survive the harsh economic times. Recently, Energy Minister Makozo Chikote announced that the Kariba Dam only has a generation capacity of below 10%, and henceforth the hours of load shedding will be increased from 12 to 17 hours effective September 2024, but ZESCO has now effected the 21 hours load shedding, resulting in the power supply of only 3 hours per day. Speaking in an exclusive interview with the Zambian Business Times, Siwila said the SME sector are mostly likely to suffer major shocks due to the lack of power, and therefore the only way to sustain themselves to combine skills and resources. Siwila challenged ZESCO to be proactive in the handling of the power rationing schedule by ensuring that they adhere to the timetable, as the country and SMEs included only be having 7 hours of electricity per day. He echoed that the government must be prudent to fulfill the measures and pronouncements made in the interest of the energy crisis. The government says Zambia's 3.5% population growth requires a higher economic growth to meet the increasing demand for social amenities such as health and education, among others. Zambia's population has now reached 19.7 million. Finance and National Planning Minister Stumbeko Msikotwane notes that the population growth is predominantly youthful, with individuals below the ages of 15 and 35 estimated at 42% and 77.9% respectively. Dr. Msikotwane says there is need to invest in young people to achieve the human capital required to drive economic growth. In a speech delivered on his behalf by the Minister of Finance, Director of Population Development, Charles Banda, Dr. Msikotwane stated that population growth should focus on the quality of life of people, not just the numbers. Meanwhile, UNFP country representative Seth Brockman said Zambia will assume a global leadership role in promoting sustainable financing for future generations. United Nations Zambia resident coordinator Beatrice Montali also highlighted the importance of ensuring no one is left behind in sustainable development, which requires data collection, analysis, and deep understanding of systematic barriers and structural inequalities. Before we take a look on the international news, a recap on local news headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has left China for Zambia. Fred Membe says Zambians have the capacity to run mines. Zulao urges the government to reinstate the increase over 6 billion kwacha allocation for retirees and council dates in the 2025 budget. And coming up, former Vice President Dick Cheney to vote for Kamala Harris, and Chipolopolo shift camp focus to Tuesday's game after loss in Bouake to Ivory
The
Coast.
KFM News. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
Former U.S. Vice President and lifelong Republican Dick Cheney has confirmed he will vote for the Democrats' Kamala Harris in November's presidential election. Mr. Cheney, seen as an influential figure during the presidency of George W. Bush, issued a statement saying there had never been an individual with greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump, the current Republican candidate. His daughter, former Republican lawmaker Liz Cheney, told an audience in Texas area that her father planned to back the Democratic nominee. Mr. Cheney's remarks were welcomed by the Harris camp. Mr. Cheney joins a growing list of Republicans who have expressed concern about the candidacy of Donald Trump. His daughter, Liz Cheney, has already given her backing to Vice President Harris. Italy's culture minister has resigned after a row over the appointment of his former mistress as a top advisor caused weeks of controversy for the country's right-wing government. Gennaro Giuliano, 62, found himself at the center of a media storm when Maria Rosaria Boscia, his ex-lover, posted on LinkedIn that she had been appointed as his advisor for major events. He initially denied the claim, but in a tearful interview with State TV on Wednesday, Mr. Giuliano admitted to the affair with Ms. Boscia and to hiring her as an unpaid consultant. On Friday, he finally handed in his resignation to Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, but denied that he had broken any ministerial rules. And now in sports, the Chipolopolo will now shift focus to Tuesday's Group G Morocco 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sierra Leone after failing 2-0 to Africa champions Cote d'Ivoire in Bouake. Zambia hosts Sierra Leone on Tuesday at the Levi Manasseh Stadium in Ndola. Sierra Leone drew 0-0 with Chad in the other Group G game played on Friday in Monrovia, as the Leone Stars are playing home matches in neighboring Liberia. Before we wind up the news, a recap on top of stories. President Hakainde Hichilema has left China for Zambia. Fred Membe says Zambians have the capacity to run mines. Zulao urges the government to reinstate and increase over 6 billion kwacha allocation for retirees and council dates in the 2025 budget. In international news headlines, former Vice President Dick Cheney to vote for Kamala Harris, and Chipolopolo shift focus to Tuesday's game after loss in Bouake to Ivory Coast. Ends the news at 13 hours. Keep listening to the Lunchtime Show.